Okay, huge movie fanatic Nate reporting on February 8th, 2014, with the first in a series of brand new little features, bonus videos, which I pretty much call just review radio, huge movie fanatics radio, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I watch, I frequent Half Price Books a lot, and I frequent their clearance DVD, Blu-ray section, and I watch a lot of old titles that way for the first time. And, it occurs to me there's a lot of stuff that I watch that I never, for whatever reason, either it's just stupid, like what I'm going to review today, or I don't want to bother setting up the camera or combing my hair. There may be several reasons why I don't end up reviewing them. Is a lot of times I don't have enough titles worth combing my hair and setting up the camera for. But it occurred to me that it'd be cool to do something that isn't as time consuming, which would just be setting up the camera for and basically recording the audio, and for audio reviews, or review huge movie fanatic radio, and which would just be bonus extra reviews that you wouldn't ordinarily get, of things that are just kind of stupid, or things in some cases might not be stupid, but in this case it's for a review of a movie that I consider stupid. So within the last, I don't know, couple of days, I usually try to stop by Half Price Books once a week, and I bought like four $2. This is so awesome, because now the Half Price I go to, the clearance DVDs used to be $3, and now a lot of them are $2. That's just so cool. So as a result, I've been getting some titles that I normally wouldn't have paid the full high $3 price for. I splurged on some $2 things that I would have normally paid $3 for. And this review is for I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, which is a movie that I never was really interested in seeing. I worked at a video store at the time this came out on video, and obviously I knew about it. I'm not a big Adam Sandler fan, but in the last several weeks I've been kind of buying some of the old Adam Sandler shit, as I'm going to review today and upload for the next 3 days on these wonderful new audio reviews, review Huge Movie Fanatic Radio, new wonderful feature. So yeah, so if you saw my solo review of Our Idiot Brother, I mentioned that especially this time of year in Minnesota, winter, when it hasn't been as warm as freezing for weeks and weeks and weeks, in many cases single digits, in many cases below zero, with wind chills of minus 20 or lower. I was going to say higher, but it's actually lower. It's just a really crummy time, and I've been getting into some of these stupid comedies, and actually been surprised by some of them, like Our Idiot Brother. I can't really say that title. Our Idiot Brother wasn't even that horrible. This, on the other hand, I have to say I thought it was pretty horrible. I'm going to go half of a star for I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, because I thought that this was, almost not even, it's what is it? I'm looking at the box now. It's an hour and 56 minutes of just crap, in my humble opinion. And this is actually directed by Dennis Dugan, who directed a movie that I really liked when I was a teenager called Brain Donors. It was the first movie I ever went to with a girl, like in high school. She was gracious enough to go, and I don't think she really thought much of it at the time, which, I mean, I did. I thought it was great. I thought John Turturro in that movie was fantastic. I haven't seen it forever, but it's a really dumb, stupid movie, but I think I think Turturro's a great performer, and I think he's a great funny man. And so Brain Donors is, I haven't seen it forever, but so looking at the director, I mean, I obviously was aware that Dennis Dugan did Brain Donors, and he did other shit as well, but let's get on to it. I mean, the only reason, to be honest, I'm giving this movie half a star is Jessica Biel's ass. Is the only reason this is getting half a star. Also, I love Dan Aykroyd, and to see him in a movie You know, in the 2000s, mid and late 2000s, he was making little appearances like this, and another movie I'm going to review tonight that will be uploaded later, which is well, I'll tell you when you'll know when it's uploaded, so you can, you know, I don't want to ruin it for you now, but he makes these, you know, just bit part appearances, and I love Dan Aykroyd, and I actually miss seeing him in you know, starring roles and stuff like that. But we got a whole plethora of Dan Aykroyd stuff from the 80s and stuff, so we're good. But this is, like I say, I'm not really an Adam Sandler fan, and this is actually, I believe, pretty much it's a Happy Madison production, which is, of course, Adam Sandler's production company, and this is probably, you know, I can't really imagine that Adam Sandler movie getting much dumber than this. No, I haven't seen a whole lot of them, but I've seen, you know, some of them, and this is for me one of the, pretty much might be the worst one that I've seen. It's just pretty goddamn stupid, and the whole premise is pretty goddamn stupid, where well, if you've seen it, you know the premise. I'm not even going to rehash the premise. But one thing I'm not too particularly keen about is, you know, I'm a heterosexual male. If you can't tell, I mean, the male part you should be able to tell, but the heterosexual part, you know, well, I hope you can tell that too. But it's not a big deal. But I'm a male. I'm a male who likes women exclusively, and you know, I like women, you know, even attractive, you know, I'm a normal, well, I'm not normal, but I mean, I'm a guy, I'm normal in the sense that like, you know, beautiful women. So, obviously that side of me doesn't have a problem with, you know, all the kind of the hot women that pop up in the movie and this and that, but you know, the thinking side of my brain, the rational thinking side of my brain, doesn't really like the whole aspect in mass media, North American mass media, of women being portrayed as just sexual objects. I don't really, the thinking side of my brain doesn't really approve or appreciate or think too much of that entire thing. I mean, you can have a woman in a movie. I talked about this in our not very famous Transformers review, you know, the movie, the Michael Bay movie about Megan Fox and stuff, and you know, I'd say if you know, where you just basically have like all these Asian Hooters girls just pop up just to be sex objects, and the woman across the street's just a sex object, and the doctor's just a sex object. I don't have as much of a problem with it with like if the sex object also has a character, but actually just being literal just bit sex object parts in a movie, I think is kind of just lame. So the movie's kind of just lame, and I was really surprised when I looked at the running time. Actually, it was like almost 2 hours long. I'm like, wow, that just doesn't need to be. So it's a half of a star movie, and that's just for Jennifer. What's her name? Jessica Biel's ass. And you know, that might be kind of male chauvinist, piggish, but whatever. That's you know, and also Dan Aykroyd. Even though they got him, you know, performing, saying stupid lines. I mean, even, you know, there's something about Dan Aykroyd for me. Even if he says these stupid 21st century dialogue, there's still a charm about Dan Aykroyd. So it's always great to see him even in one of these stupid movies. You know, he's a pro compared to these, you know, what's this guy's name? This is like the first movie I've seen him in, Kevin James and all that shit. So yeah, half a star for, you know, I'm just ranting, but half a star for I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. It was a title when I worked at the video store that when people would rent, I would be like, in my brain, not out loud, I'd be like, okay, I hope you enjoy this one. I mean, I didn't say that out loud, but in my brain, you know. So that about does it. Thank you very much for watching this, which is a first in a series of just random audio reviews that I may do just about movies, about these like $2 or $3 movies that I pick up, and you know, it's like I figure I just saw it tonight, like just a few hours ago, and I just wanted to tell someone. I'm like, well, turn on the recorder and tell the world, tell the whole entire planet, you know, instead of just the wall, you know. Otherwise I would have just vented to the wall. So thank you very much for listening. I mean, I guess there were some pictures and clips in this review as well, but thank you very much for listening / watching, and we'll catch you next time on our Actually, there'll probably be another one uploaded tomorrow, one of these very brand new, very exciting, huge Movie Fanatics audio reviews. So be sure to come back and check the next one out. Thanks for listening.